we good?
Good. I'm gonna give her just continue. You can look at yourself.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone, or good evening as we move into the nighttime of the day. And I want to welcome you all to Comfort Elementary School's first virtual parent night. This is a new experience for us, but we have learned a lot in the last year about education and teaching remotely and teaching with using the use of technology within our classrooms. And so our school year has looked quite different than normal, but at the same time, we still have our same purpose, and our purpose remains the same. And our purpose is we want to educate students through their academics and through life experiences. And so our stress and our struggles through this process have helped us learn life lessons that we hope our students are learning as well as we are. And so education gives our students opportunities and choices in life. And we want our students to have a sound enough education that they have all possible opportunities and choices for themselves when they are adults. And we want them to be able to be all that they can be. We want them to have choices to be what they want to be and then pursue that to their fullest extent and then be contributing citizens to our society. This year, we have had to rely on you to help us out with our delivery of instruction more so than we have in the past. And we want to thank you for all that you've done to assist us with that delivery of instruction and helping us continue this. Together, we will be successful in overcoming our current situation and not letting it get in our way of our purpose to educate. This evening, I want you to be aware that Comfort Elementary School is a Title I school. Title I is a federal government that grants us extra funding for supplemental materials, such as supplemental materials, teaching technology, technology equipment, instructional supplies, and even here at Comfort, a teaching position is paid through Title I funding. As part of our Title I status, we like to offer you strategies to help your children with their learning and growing. And so tonight we're going to give you a variety of strategies. Each teacher is going to deliver a strategy to you this evening. These strategies are not complex. They are not time consuming. They are not expensive. They are very simple things that you can do to help your children with learning. So our teachers are going to go in great order, giving you strategies. So we're going to begin with Miss Denise from PreK.
Good evening. Letter recognition is a fundamental skill that we work on throughout the year in pre-K. You can start with helping your child learn the letters in his or her own name. After they have learned those letters, please continue with the rest of the alphabet. Use environmental print to help you. Environmental print is simply letters or words found in your home or the environment in which you are in. Flashcards and books are other good tools to use to promote these skills. To help ensure your child is ready for kindergarten, work with them on letter recognition and letter sounds, counting 1 to 30, and writing their name. We practice writing names each morning by having the students write or trace their name to sign in for the day. Please work on this skill at home. Thank you.
Good evening. I am Ms. Bergeron in kindergarten. For the kindergarten skill, at the beginning of the year for orientation night, I sent home number cards with you guys and counters as well. So you should have these materials at home. Right now we are working on, in math, being able to identify numbers up to 20 and counting out objects for that number. Children are supposed to be able to count a one-to-one correspondence matching the number to the number of objects. If you do not have these, you can use index cards to write numbers on index cards, that's fine. And I also recommend, instead of counters, you can use things like coffee beans or cotton balls or anything that you have around the house. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Good evening. I am Jessica Bryan, the first grade teacher here at Comfort. A strategy that I chose for us is tracking. Tracking is essential in first grade to help promote reading. It helps them look at letters and also helps them know that they're going in the right order. It also directs them and keeps them in their place. It's very simple. To teach tracking, you just simply slide your finger under the words. Tracking can be taught at a young age. As a baby, you can read and track to your child, and as they get older, they will know the concept of reading left to right. I encourage you to get your child to track each night when they're reading. I hope you have a good night.
All right. Good evening. I am Tracy Mills, the second grade teacher here at Comfort. I think I've got a fun activity that you could do at home. It's really simple, easy, a cheap way to get some writing in at home. So what I've done is I just got this cute box. One of my students gave me this a few years ago and I still have it, but you can use anything, a box, a bucket, anything at all, a folder. And I have filled it with some fun things to write on. So you can do some holiday activities. For writing, they could just write notes on this to give to you at home or to pass to their friends at school. You can write grocery lists on these. For students who need practice writing on the lines, you could use index cards to help you. Of course, we all have our to-do list. Getting your kids to help you with your grocery list helps them not only with sounding out words, but also writing. And they really need to get in the practice of holding a pencil and writing. So these are activities that young kids can do before they ever come to pre-K. And still, even though they're in second grade in my class, they still need the extra practice. We're moving on to writing more incomplete sentences and writing paragraphs. So another thing you should think about would be postcards. It's short, sweet, it's not intimidating. The student can just write a sweet little message to someone, send it in the mail. Thank you notes, you can use just blank cards and they can write their ideas there. Of course, we all enjoy Post-it notes, and then using a variety of writing utensils. So some kids really like markers. You could use a fine tip marker. Some kids like mechanical pencils, and then the pens with all different colors. So if you'll just get them writing in different ways, make it fun, make it engaging, something that you do together, I think that their writing will improve, and they'll actually look forward to it here at school instead of looking at it as a chore. Have a great night.
Good evening, everyone. You go? Okay, sorry. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I'm Makia Combs, and I am the third grade teacher at Comfort. And you always hear us talk about as teachers, and you probably hear it all the time in parent-teacher conferences and everything about showing your work. And the first thing you think about is working out a math problem and what do they use to solve that? What does that look like? So now we're thinking about how can a child show their work when they're reading? And that would be going into the text and underlining or highlighting where they found the answer to the question. So for example, here's just a couple paragraphs about George Washington. And the question is, when and where was George Washington born? So up here in the text, it says George Washington was born on February 22nd, 1732. He was born in Virginia. So I highlighted that. And then I put a number 1 there to show that it goes with my question number 1. And as a teacher, I can go back and look at the students' work to see that they have showed their work and they found the evidence to the answer, or to the question, I'm sorry, in the text. Thank you very much.
Hello, I am Dawn Harper, the fourth grade teacher, and I chose to do a strategy for math. Beginning in third grade, your student learns about multiplication facts, and one of the easier strategies you could do is to purchase some flashcards. You can get them from the Dollar General store. I believe these were like $1. If you can't get to the Dollar General store, you can make your own with paper or index cards. And then all you do is just mix them up and
pull a card out and show it to your child, your student, and flash your student and have them to tell you what the answer is or the product to that multiplication problem is. Also, when you do that, if you are in an upper grade, have them to tell you if say not just the product, but say 1 times 3 is 3, and then have them to tell you why. Have them to explain 1 times 3 is 3 because, and we're into division, they can say because 3 divided by 1 equals 3. They are reversing that concept. That is all. Thank you.
I'm Miss Higgins, the 5th grade teacher. So I just want to talk about focusing on reading. So while your kid is reading at home, just have them read it. If they don't understand it, then have them just read it and read it again. Helping them to read more fluently. If you'll read just for 20 minutes a night, I know for younger kids, 10 minutes a night would be enough. But help them to make sure they're reading out loud. So it needs to be quiet at home. If you are in a room and there's a TV on, just mute it, just to kind of help them so that they can focus on what they're doing. If there's a word that they don't know, they can try to use their context clues or look up the word. You can help them look up the word with Google, or if you have a dictionary at home, Google's probably easier. And then ask them questions after they read a couple of paragraphs. Ask them to summarize what they've read. And if they don't understand or they can't tell you what they've read, then again, have them go back and just reread it. The biggest thing is have them slow down and just focus on what they're reading. Thank you.
Hello, I am Mrs. Calderon. I'm the 6th grade teacher here at Comfort. And instead of going over some academic strategies by subject, I felt it would be important for you guys at home to come up with strategies on how your child can be a better remote learner. Unfortunately, 6th grade, we're the only class that's in the building that's still hybrid. So I have 21 children in 3 different groups, so it can be kind of chaotic. So when your child's at home, try to create a daily plan for them. If they're home Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, keep their plan and their schedule the same. They have a set schedule of when our classes begin and when our classes end. So try to make sure that they're sticking to that schedule. The second strategy is to use all of the available resources. Play back the lesson videos, use HMH resources, and look at Khan Academy videos to help you with math. The third strategy that I have is personalize the learning for your child. Make sure the lighting is good in the room that they're in. Make sure they're in a quiet room. So if they do need to come off of mute, or if they do need to be on camera, that they are in a quiet place where they can focus. And also that they have the right equipment with their iPads, a pen and pencil handy. I give them whiteboards and sticky notes that they could take home with them as well. Encourage them to join our small groups on Wednesdays. I usually set aside a half an hour to an hour every Wednesday when we're all remote to do some extra help, usually with math, but sometimes we do reading, and sometimes we break it up into math and reading, half and half. And then my 5th strategy is to have your child review their notes every day. I do not give homework to the whole class, so just make sure that they're going back so they can spiral back and remember what they learned 2 weeks ago instead of just forgetting about it. And those are 5 strategies that you can help your child at home with remote learning. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Mrs. K, and I'm the special education teacher here at Comfort Elementary. And all the teachers have really mentioned some really, really great ideas. Something that I wanted to focus on was something that Donna, our 5th grade teacher, had mentioned, and that was in the area of reading. Something that I'm finding to be a struggle for my students, students that have some areas of struggle, some disabilities, is that they are struggling with finding that person that they can sit and read with that will give them the undivided attention. And so we need our children to have that person that will every night give them undivided attention for 15 to 20 minutes. And the biggest complaint that the students have said that I've heard reoccurring is that they don't have the person that they can read to, or that they're not comfortable reading with the person. And so I would suggest that when you sit with them for the 15 minutes, that it becomes a time of not frustration, even though it can be frustrating if you have a struggling reader, but that it becomes a time of just encouragement. And so the way we do it when we're working in the EC classroom is when they come to a word and say the word, or the sentence may say something like, "This is Pam," and say that they start to read the sentence and they say, "That is Pam," that it is immediate correction. And you say, "That word is that. What word is that?" And you make them repeat the word. And then you say, "Let's go back to the beginning of that sentence." And you have them read it again. And when they complete that sentence correctly, you say, "Great job. Let's move to the next sentence." If you can do that and make it not about saying that's incorrect or that's wrong or no, that's not right, but just redirect them. This is the correct word. Let's try to say it correctly together. And when they say it correctly and they complete the sentence the way they're supposed to, you praise them. They're going to be more likely to want to read with you more often. And I'm just so proud of all of you. I just want to say that I'm really proud of the parents who are sticking it out. We know it's really hard work, and we really, really, really appreciate you.
Okay, I was remiss in introducing myself at the beginning. I am Stella Downs. I am the principal. I hope that you've been watching my morning announcements that I do each morning for not just the students, but for you to learn as well. Let's see if I can get this positioned correctly. There we go. Okay, so just a few things. First of all, teachers, thank you for those terrific strategies. None of those strategies are real complex. They're very simple things you can do with your children, and that's what we're trying to get across, is this simple things that can help benefit your child and their learning experience. So like Ms. Kay just said, we know this is hard. We do it every day. We know it is hard. And so this year, we greatly appreciate you stepping up and helping us and contributing to what your child's learning experiences and helping us with that instructional piece. So we hope the strategies that our teachers just gave, which I thank all of the teachers that are here for sharing those tonight, but we hope that they are going to benefit you and help you with working with your child. Since you've probably been wondering what we look like this year because you've not been able to come and go to classrooms like you have in the past, I've asked every teacher, and every teacher has done this, every grade level has done this, even our Encore team has put some things together. They have created recordings of their classes, and it looks different from class to class or grade to grade and how they chose to represent what they've been doing this school year. But in the web page where you found this Zoom link to get started, you will find a link to every grade at Comfort Elementary School, and you can go in and watch the recording from every single classroom here. We're proud of our classrooms and would love for you to do that. Or you can just watch the ones where your children are. That's your choice. And so you can go in and do that either way you would like and see those recordings. Now, what we have done in our recordings is we have put in some magic words. And so you saw me taping up the word compassion on the wall here. And the reason we have taped that up there is because the magic word from this live stream is compassion. So our magic word from this part of the program is compassion. Got that? Compassion. Okay, we're there on that one. So what we're going to do is all the links that you want to see are right there in that same spot in the website. You just go right down the list. And at the bottom of that list is an actual Google form. And in that Google form, we're asking that you complete that Google form with your name, your child's name, or children's names. And then you have to put the magic words, make a phrase. And you need to put that phrase in that Google form and then submit it. And when you submit that, that's showing your attendance for tonight. See how we do attendance, like with your students in remote learning. So that will be your attendance for tonight. And then we're going to take all of you that got the phrase correct, and we're going to put your names in a drawing. And we've got a few small gift cards to distribute out to those of you as a little reward for participating in our virtual parent night. So We've done a lot of talking tonight. I think we have covered the steps of the process of our virtual parent night. But at this time, if you yourself have questions, we would like you to be able to ask us while we're here together, and we will do our best to answer them for you in a reasonable manner. So in this, you can kind of just unmute yourself if you have a question and ask us a question at this time. Any questions, anyone? I'm old and a Ferris Bueller's Day Off fan, so I'm going to say anyone, anyone, anyone. So, okay, so very good. So I'm going to take it. I didn't have no one came in with a question. So we're going to hope we've covered things as we need to. Want to thank you for joining us tonight. We appreciate your time. Oh, I heard something.
It's Kingston's mom. How are you, Miss Downs?
I'm fine. Thank you.
Good. With my question is with like with our kids, and they get a cough or what we may think is a mild fever, and we keep them home. Is attendance, are they being a little more lenient with it as far as with them missing days? Because there's been days where I kept Kingston home because he had a cough, or because I wasn't feeling well and I didn't want to, if it had spread to him. And there were quite a few days where I kept him home because of that. So is attendance going to be a little more lenient this year? Like, I've tried to make up the things, and I've reached out to Miss Bergeron and asked if we could do it virtually that day and stuff. And I'm just a little concerned about that.
Okay, attendance does count. At the same time, we know what we're going through, and if he has a cough or you have a cough or there's the possibility of COVID in your home, we definitely want you to call us and let us know what's going on so that we can track that and make sure that we're keeping everyone as safe as possible. But at the same time, it's about the work. It's about the practice. It's about listening to the instruction. So either joining that live stream or watching the recording of that live stream so that he does not miss the instruction, and then doing and submitting his assignments is where, it's going to be a combination of things. And so if you can do that part, that's going to make up for him maybe not being here that day. But at the same time, attendance still counts. We want him here. We have found this year that the majority of our students, not all, I will admit, I'll be honest about it, but the majority of our students learn better in that face-to-face school classroom environment. So having them here is important. And remembering that something to think about is, if we weren't under COVID, would you send him to school that day or not? And think about it from that perspective. And if he missed a day of school last year, we would have given him the opportunity to make things up. Same this year. So it's just, we still want him to get that practice and that work in place. Okay. Thank you. Very good question. Thank you. Anyone else? Yeah, I'm going back to my Ferris Bueller here. Okay. Anything else? Well, thank you so much for joining us this evening. Please go right in and watch the recordings. They are precious. They are fabulous. I have been thoroughly enjoyed watching them as they've come into the office, and we've been able to see what's happening and see what it looks like around here for this school year. I'll be honest with you, at the beginning of the year, I was a little leery about the 6 feet apart, the desk spread out, and all of that, but the kids have been fabulous. They have adapted to it far better than we have. They wear their mask. They're respectful of the 3 W's and following those rules and regulations. And we have found our discipline has gone down drastically, because if you're not on top of each other in line, you can't poke, prod, and trip each other as you go down the hallway when you're walking this far apart. So there has been some positives that have come out of it, but the kids are so resilient, and the kids have done far better than the adults through this situation. And so praise your children at all times, and appreciate what they're doing as they come here, because they're protecting you as well. Because if something's here, by them following those 3 W's, they're protecting when they come home to you at the end of the day. And so we thank you for joining us. And please watch the videos and submit your Google Forms so we will have a record of who participated this evening, and we'll have our drawing at 1 o'clock on Friday afternoon. So you can get your Google form in by 1 o'clock on Friday. We are recording this live stream. So if you know of a mention to a parent that you liked what we did tonight and they go, oh, well, I missed it. You can say, oh, you can go to the website and we'll have it posted tomorrow, and then they can watch the recording as well. So thank you again, and everyone have a wonderful evening. Good night. Yep, I'm trying to get there.